Good morning everybody, I am Sarah with the trains and I'm here this fine May morning at Norwich Station to go off and explore some of the stations on the Breckland Line. So let's go get our ticket and head off. So this morning I'm going to be heading off along the line as far as Ely, calling at Wymondham, Attleborough, Thetford, Brandon and Ely. I would go all the way through to Cambridge, but there's engineering works going on, so that's rail replacement bus service at the moment.
Welcome aboard this 9:27 service to Ely. Going to be calling at Wymondham, Attleborough, Thetford, Brandon. Due drive to Ely at 10:27. Please familiarise yourselves with the safety notices displayed throughout the train. Ensure that luggage is stored within the luggage racks provided. CCTV is in operation on this service for your safety and security. We'll be passing through the train shortly for glassing any tickets and rail cards ready for inspection. On behalf of your train crew, I'd like to wish you a pleasant journey with us this morning. Let's go to a 9:27 service to Ely.
So we are at our first station of the day, Wymondham. The station was opened in 1845 by the Norfolk Railway. It was on a line that at that time went from Ely to Trowse. They hadn't got as far as Norwich yet because they still had to build a bridge over the River Wymondham that would still allow it to be navigable by boats. This wasn't always the only station in Wymondham though. For 4 months in 1845, another station called Spink's Lane was in operation on the outskirts of Wymondham. Ultimately, with Wymondham being such a small place, it was seen as unnecessary to have more than one station, and Spink's Lane was closed. The station building wasn't demolished until the 1980s, but now nothing remains. In 1847, Wymondham became a junction station when a line opened from Wymondham to Dereham and Wells next the sea. This branch line to Wells was closed to passengers in 1969 and then to freight in 1989. A section of the line between Wymondham and Dereham now forms the Mid-Norfolk Heritage Railway. During the Great Eastern Railway era, a cut-off line from Thorncett on the Great Eastern Main Line to the Norwich to Ely line at Wymondham was opened in 1881. This was then closed in 1939 under the LNER. These days, the station at Wymondham is run by Greater Anglia, and most of the trains that stop here are Greater Anglia services heading off down to Cambridge and some going through as far as Stansted Airport. There are a couple of East Midlands Railway trains that stop here per day as well. One thing I don't understand about Wymondham is the pronunciation of the place name. I said Wymondham for quite a long time because that's how it's spelled until I got told it's actually Wymondham, because apparently the M and the O are silent. As always, I think it's time for a bit of a run round and rundown of the station facilities. As you can see, we have got 2 platforms. We still have the station buildings, although the one on this platform is just a waiting shelter. Of course, we've got benches all over, and here under the waiting shelter we have got information screens, although at the moment it says we're currently trying to resolve a technical issue, so they don't work. We have a very bright white bench here, and also this very cool sign saying that Wymondham Station welcomes you to a fine historic town, and this old lamp. I wonder how old that is. Of course, we've got the flappy plastic bins. We have got the usual information signs, including engineering works and the train times, which is very useful when the information screens aren't actually working. Of course we've got a help point. Not entirely sure what these little dogs are about. And over here we have got the footbridge, which provides access between the two platforms. Now obviously the footbridge is steps, so I'm going to have to go and have an investigate as to what level access there is. Alright, so down here we've got an exit from the footbridge, that is steps. Over here on platform 1 we've got the flappy plastic bin, a way out sign, and the station building. We also have this old hand pump, which says it was used in emergency to pump water from the River Tiffy to the tank house. Right next to it we've got another help point, of course. Over here, as part of the old station building, we have got the old station master's office and the old foreman's office. Now let's take a little wander outside of the station. Okay, so out here we've got another flappy plastic bin and information signs, but we also have, in a neighbouring gardeny thing, a dragony sculpture, a sign saying Signal Cottage, and the old style railway signal. Heading this way, we have got the station car park, where there is a ticket machine, and the building is even labelled up as former Old Norfolk Union Railway. Oh, and we have another one of these how to get assistance for your journey signs. Out on the station car park we also have cycle parking and some lovely little planters. I didn't see any planters on the platform. Right, so I've had a decent look round and sadly I can't find any evidence of level access between the platforms. I'm actually struggling to find any level access to platform 2, but I am willing to be corrected if I am wrong, and there's just a little thing I haven't spotted. Oh, I've spotted one of my favourite things. It's a phone box. Does it work? No. Okay, this sign next to the information posters is a bit out of date because it refers to central trains. Quick, a sprinter! $158,865. And in the distance I see another sprinter.
Train, where? It's coming! There's a train! I can see the cars crossing. I can see over the barrier.
$158,862. Standing up here on the footbridge, looking in the direction towards Ely, you can see the old signal box. That has been out of commission since 2012 when signalling on the line was changed, and it's now all centrally controlled at Cambridge. The station building is now the station bistro for anybody who wants a bit of food while they're at the station. There is a little plaque up there that says Historic Railway Station Wymondham. I can't quite read it, but something about being unveiled by actor Bill Pertwee. I'm trying to remember who he is. And over to this side of the station bistro is a beer garden. And what is this? Little free library. Oh, it's another one of these little library things that I've seen at a few places. Take a book, share a book. And over there we've got everybody's favourite little locomotive, Thomas. Now the Station Bistro at one point used to be the Brief Encounter tea room. So it was a tea room with the theme of the film Brief Encounter. If you don't know what that is an old black and white film that I've seen a couple of times, about people who have a brief encounter that is kind of railway related. I do advise watching it. It was filmed at Carnforth Station up in the Lake District during the war. Out here we also have an information map of the area, including the location of the Mid-Norfolk Railway. Although sadly the Mid-Norfolk Railway aren't currently running trains from the Wymondham Abbey station.
Will be Attleborough. Welcome to the service where
We have made it to Attleborough. Just like Wymondham, Attleborough Station was opened in 1845 by the Norfolk Railway on that line between Ely and Trowse. It was closed to freight in 1966. It is these days an unstaffed station. There was a ticket office up until the 1960s when it was closed under British Rail. A ticket office was opened again in 2008 by National Express East Anglia as part of their rural station restaffing initiative, but that has since now also closed.
on trains to Norwich, you need platform 1. If you're travelling towards Ely, Cambridge or Stansted, it's platform 2. That's platform 1 for Norwich, or platform 2 for Ely, Cambridge and Stansted Airport. Thank you.
And that announcement was because the information signs are out at this station as well, so I'm sort of assuming it's the whole line. I thought it was probably just Wymondham. Now we've been interrupted by that announcement, let's have a quick look at the station facilities. There are 2 platforms at this station, but as you can see, they are staggered. Platform 1 is on the opposite side of the level crossing. Here on platform 2, we have got the usual benches. We have got a little garden area over here. This area is sown with, I assume that is going to be wild seeds, because they also have a bird feeder with a squirrel on top, so I guess it's a squirrel feeder as well. So they seem to be encouraging wildlife in this little patch of garden. You have got an old station building, which is a waiting shelter. Quite a nicely covered waiting shelter actually. Pretty roomy. On the wall in the waiting shelter we have got network route map, train times, help point, flappy plastic bin, and a how to get assistance for your journey sign. Needless to say, this beautiful, spacious, covered in waiting room stinks of urine. Leaning up against the waiting shelter is the accessibility ramp. The information signs have just come back on. I just looked up and it is there. the information for my next train. Wait, what? There we go. 11:47 to take me to Thetford. Right, now we've got over that excitement, let's look at the rest of the station. We have got another little garden area that is pretty well taken care of. We've got the optimistic palm trees, another bench. We've also got the cycle parking on the platform, and exiting the station you've got two options. There's either a little set of steps or the level access ramp. I think we'll take the ramp. Here we've got the level crossing. To get to the other platform you do have to walk across the level crossing. So if the barriers go down and you're on the wrong side, sadly you will miss your train. Over there you have got the old signal box. As I mentioned, all the signal boxes on the line were decommissioned, if that's the right word, in 2012. Over here we have got what is a very sizable station car park. Didn't expect that. We've also got the station building, sadly now disused. Oh, to this side of the station building we have got some cycle parking and an Amazon locker. There is also this little gate to get you onto the top end of the platform. One 158,865. 158,7 come down. Cool. Right, now that I've got the platform to myself for a minute, I'm going to get serious really quickly. There is a yellow line on the platform for a reason. Stand behind it. It is not there to look pretty, it is there for your safety. There's signs that say keep back from the platform edge. There's tactile paving as well as the yellow line. It's not a secret that you're supposed to stand back from the platform edge, especially when a train isn't stopping at the station. Okay, rant over. Let's explore the features we've got at platform 1. There's this really handy sign that says keep back from the platform edge. We have got the usual benches, of course, and a nice little sign. Oh, look at that, keep back from the platform edge. We have got this rather majestic station building, which now sadly is not in use. Just looking through the window, it is just completely bare in there. I don't know if they're doing something to it. We've got planters, a flappy plastic bin or two. We have got an information poster and a help point, network route map, a very handy sign that tells you which direction the trains go, how to get assistance for your journey, information sign. We've got the level access ramp. There's level access to both platforms at this station. A grit bin and a tap. I don't know what the tap is about. Does the tap work? That would be a resounding yes. Just in there, I can see an old fireplace. I imagine that is original. What a shame that's not in use anymore. On the other side of the line, we do have another old station building. Judging by this map, what we're looking at was the goods shed from the days when the station still handled freight. Now it's time to head off to Thetford.
The next stop will be Thetford.
Never really thought I'd see the word bomb flash up on a display on a train. Well, we have made it to Thetford. So, as with the other stations on the line, Thetford was opened by the Norfolk Railway in 1845. There was another line that was opened in full in 1876 to link Thetford to Bury St Edmunds. Unfortunately, this line was closed in 1953 by British Rail, which means that the station ceased to be a junction station. We still have the station buildings here, and the station building at Thetford is actually Grade 2 listed, so I think we'll go take a look at that. This section of the station building that's made of napped flint dates back to 1845, and that red brick extension over there is from 1889. Now let's have a quick look at what facilities we've got over here on platform 2. We have got planters, a station sign of course with a bracket for a hanging basket, benches with the lemonade can, on platform cycle parking, 2 accessibility ramps, got the waiting shelter attached to the station building, gents toilet, and out that way we have got the ticket office. Down here we have yet another accessibility ramp and help point, as well as more benches, and it's not a flappy plastic bin, it's just a bin. Got the usual station information with a little bit about the history of Thetford and points of interest. Stuff about engineering works and a warning that you must always buy a ticket to travel. We have also got a ticket machine, as well as the footbridge, which provides access from here over to platform number 1. Go down next to the footbridge and you have level access to the car park, complete with defibrillator. They are doing some refurbishment to the footbridge at the moment, so it would seem that you could get up both sides of the footbridge. So maybe I'll have to come back when that's finished. Over there you have got the now decommissioned signal box. Out here we have got the station car park. And over there's actually a taxi rank. I have spotted something. It's another phone box. Come on, all together now. But does it work? I don't know if you can hear that, but that is a dial tone. This phone box works. Behind this car over here, we've got information posters with engineering works, and train times. We've got a flappy plastic bin in the car park. So the station here is staffed, but only part of the time. So between 7 and 1:30 there is somebody here running the ticket office, and between the hours of 7 and 1, Monday to Saturday, the toilets are open. Unfortunately, they close just before the ticket office closes, so if you need the toilet after 1 o'clock Monday to Saturday, or at all on a Sunday, you got to go on the train. So this is the waiting room, which still has a fireplace in it, that is also open 7 to 1 Monday to Saturday. And there's a little departure screen in here, as you can see, and a heater, which I'm sure is very welcome in the winter, because I've been in waiting rooms where there hasn't been a heater. Off the waiting room, here is the toilets that I mentioned, well, the ladies and the disabled anyway, and I need to go in there. So you're not coming with me, and I'm going to stash my camera in my bag. I didn't know the East Midlands Railway even had a Pride train. It's called Let's Roll with Pride. Good choice to come and stand on the platform rather than on the footbridge to see that one. Over here on platform 1 there is some onward travel information, as well as a footpath that takes you out to the road to provide level access between the platforms. Although there is another access path to platform 1, National Rail advised customers with limited mobility not to use that, as the road that leads up to it is unmade and there isn't a footpath. We have a lot of beautiful plants at this station, a nice little garden. There's a sign up here saying that it's a very special station and they're providing a platform for wildlife. If I'm not much mistaken, in the top right corner there's a Class 321, aka a dusty bin, a class that has recently been taken out of service. There's also the Fernal Destination, which is a load of ferns behind a gate. Also, there are working information screens. And not only have we got information signs on the platform, there's also an advert for the Greater Anglia podcast, Life on the Rails. Over here, there's a ramp up to the toilets and waiting room. As I mentioned, the toilets have quite restricted opening times, and the waiting room is already locked, even though it wasn't yet 1 o'clock. So I'm just taking a walk up one of the paths that leads out of the station, and a few minutes ago I had one of the guards who was on the platform ask me how my filming was going, because I'd seen him earlier in the day with my camera. And it was very nice of him to ask, but I didn't look at his name badge, so I can't give a shout out to this particular guard. But thank you if you're watching. Don't know. Right, I haven't got enough time to walk the full route around to get up this path and round to the other platform, because I've only got a few minutes until my next train. So I'm gonna walk a bit swiftly back to the station. In just a minute or two, we'll be heading off to our penultimate station of the day, which is Brandon. Just before I leave, I've got a quick moment to consider if I've got the courage do the Dad's Army trial. I don't know if I do. Oh, and absolutely last thing before the train pulls in, I've got to say that this is the closest railway station to Centre Park's Elveden Forest, and I love Centre Parks.
Welcome to this service for Ely. We will be calling at Brandon and Ely. Welcome to this service for Ely.
Brandon, the penultimate station of the day. It was opened in 1845, as were the others on the Breckland Line. It did have a change of name at one point though. In 1923, the LNER changed the name from Brandon to Brandon brackets Norfolk. Now there were other stations called Brandon, but all of them had some form of suffix, which this Brandon didn't, and it meant the renaming was kind of nonsensical, and so in 1925 it reverted to being just plain old Brandon. The station these days is unstaffed. It became unstaffed in 1978. And let's go and have a little look at the facilities on this platform, because there's something that's really caught my eye, and I haven't seen one of these whilst doing lines in Norfolk before. It's a Harrington hump. A Harrington hump is an easy, low-cost way to increase the height of the platform. It takes its name from Harrington Station in Cumbria, where the first one was installed. So, here at Brandon, we have got two platforms. They are staggered. And on platform 2, there's the accessibility ramp, some pot plants, a sign saying welcome to Brandon and explaining some of the sites in the area. We have got working information screens above a help point and the bus shelter style of waiting shelters with split level seating. Good old flappy plastic bin. Out through this gate we have got a ticket machine. And we have the footbridge, which provides access to the other platform. I'll have to go and search out the level access. Let's nip over to the opposite platform. Over here we have got information signs, another welcome to Brandon, gateway to the Brecks, an Amazon locker. Out on the platform itself we have got a help point, and down there, well, if it isn't a Harrington hump I spy, yes it is an Harrington hump. We've also got the benches of course, accessibility ramp, bus shelter, complete with rubbish and cigarette butts. We have some plastic bunting here as well. Now you can see here there is a delightful building that is rather concealed by scaffolding. Let's go out into the car park and see if we can get a bit of a better view. Out in the station car park we do have some cycle parking, and it's even got a bicycle attached. This building, which is currently covered in scaffolding because it's undergoing repair and stabilisation work, is the original station building of Brandon Station. Here's what it usually looks like. Dating back to 1845, it is credited to the sculptor John Thomas. It was actually scheduled to be demolished in 2020. As with Salhouse Station, Save Britain's Heritage got involved, and the building here at Brandon Station is now Grade 2 listed. Heritage England say that station buildings of this age are internationally significant because they are some of the oldest railway structures that we have in the world. And the reason they wanted to tear the building down was to make the car park bigger. There did also used to be a 6-road engine shed at Brandon, but that is now sadly gone. I am now taking a little wander out of the station because the level access between the platforms does involve going up to the road and walking across the level crossing, which means that if you're on the wrong side of the level crossing, when the barriers go down, you are unfortunately going to miss your train if you require level access. So let's nip across to Suffolk for a bit. And next to the station we have the Great Eastern Pub and Kitchen. I found the little ooze. We encountered the great ooze when I went to King's Lynn. I think I'll go for a walk on the river. Now that, if I am not much mistaken, is a World War II pillbox. It's just sort of sitting in, I think that's the beer garden for the pub. There we go, the little ooze. Look what I've just discovered, a barge sitting on the little ooze. I have absolutely no idea what this is. Metal of some description? Yep. Metal with weeds and cider can. I do sincerely think that ooze is the best name for a river. No matter how much I love the ooze though, I think I'm going to have to head back to the station to get my train to Ely. Goodbye, Harrington Hump. We'll meet again one day, I'm sure.
Welcome to this service for Ely. We will be calling at Ely. The next stop will be Ely.
Luke, who is waiting for me at Ely, 755412. Not on the Breckland Line though. Heading to Ipswich. 5412. Miss you. I am now here at Ely, the last station that I will be visiting today. I'll just give a brief station history because, as anybody who's been watching me for a little bit will know, I have been here before and given quite a comprehensive history that time. So I'm going to link you to that video so that anybody who wants to know a lot about the history of Ely can do so. The station was built in 1845, as with all the others that I've covered today. There was a lot of modernisation. So as I was saying before I got interrupted so rudely by the Electro Star behind me, the station here at Ely had some major improvement works by British Rail in the 1990s when electrification was in progress on the line. Kind of inappropriate that I got interrupted by an Electro Star in that case. managed to film the EMR Pride 158 twice in a day. That's pretty good going. I also love that EMR have used the yellow and purple of the intersex pride flag as part of their design. For anybody not aware, I am Sarah, I am intersex. Hello. So although I've been travelling on the 755s all day going down the Breckland Line, I think I fancy a bit of a change now. So I'm going to catch the EMR 158 back to Norwich. So it's just time for me to say thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who likes, subscribes, comments. Special shout out to the people who donate to me on Ko-fi. It's really appreciated and it keeps the channel going. I'll see you all next time for another railway adventure. Bye.